Well, hello, and welcome to Stop Make Sense presents My Legion Adventure, Episode 4. And hey, I'm Ross Aiken, and we're going to be discussing Superboy 86, cover date January 1961. Story is The Army of the Living Kryptonite Men. Editor Plotter, Weishenser, Plotter Scripter Jerry Siegel, Penciler George Papp, Letterer Joe LaRose. Okay, so this is technically the fourth Legion of Superhero stories, as per the official Legion of Superhero Index and the Legion Archives Volume 1. It is placed there, even though there is only three main Legionnaires: Cosmic, Saturn Girl, and Lightning again. And I'm going to give you the synopsis directly from the official Legion. I got this a few months ago in the mail. Some comics I saw had some money, and I had these years ago, and I'm that. So the synopsis is: Lex Luthor has created a helmet that allows him to animate stone, lures Superboy to a remote asteroid, and attacks him with living Kryptonite men. However, the Legion of Superhero, which has been monitoring the battle from the future, sends Lightning Lad to rescue the Boy of Steel and help him defeat the teenage scientist. Okay, again, another issue with wonderful George Papp art. When I think of Solo, Silver Age, Superboy, I really think of this. This is what because it's just what I do. It is, because we're about, when we get to Adventure 300, and Legion has its own series in that title, and the artist becomes Joe Forte, who, after doing a little homework, I think I might be one of the few huge Joe Forte fans, but I'm going to do some homework on him, because we're going to talk about him, because for him, his incredibly special. It is not my favorite. It's not probably in the top 5 kind of year, the way I break them up, whatever, but it stamps this as he puts a stamp on this book and the mythos of Legion. A lot of important stuff went on when he was drawn. First elections, Saturn Girl being the leader. And if you want, this coming Saturday, I will be posting an episode about Silver Age Legion, and where me and Marty Gray from the Too Dangerous for a Girl blog briefly chat about, I brought up Joe Forte, sparked some conversation. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a long-form one, maybe some tangents, but you had 2 Legion fans sitting around chatting about Legion. We had a blast, and we're hoping you are. So that will be coming out Saturday. So what did I think of this? It's a Superboy story from the Silver Age. It's the cover story for this comic. It's not the one in the first story is called The Super Coward by Weisinger, Siegel, Plastino. And the second story is The Boy Who Betrayed Clark Kent, 8 pages. It's an 8-page story. These are all real short. They're Silver Age. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It mentions the LL connection. Paul Kent brings to Clark that, a lot of people in his life have LL in his name. Lana Lang, Lex Luthor, and then Lightning. It's a crazy science experiment that Teen Luthor does, where he creates a helmet that allows him to animate rocks. And then Superboy's flying in space, and he animates all these asteroids or meteorites to turn into a fist, and they keep bonking Superboy on the head. He lands back on a planet, and he brings kryptonite rocks. Krypto comes to save him, and then Krypto's buried, and Superboy's rubbing Krypto's dying head as they're being poisoned by the kryptonite, and then Lana goes in and almost pulls the D lever, which would have destroyed everything, which is silly. But eventually Superboy gets out. Heroic Superboy. It's really light, the plot. It's just so incredibly on the plot. Lightning Lad comes back. Oh, that's right. Excuse me. Lightning Lad comes from the future and zaps the machine, and then Lightning. And the final panel is Lex Luthor. If a Legion of Superhero would exist centuries from now, then a Legion of Supervillains probably exists in the future. Someday I'll contact and get them to destroy. Don't miss this terrific story of the Legion of Supervillains coming soon. So it's coming. It's planned. It's not the next one. The next one is Lana Lang and the Legion of Superheroes, with the introduction of the one, the only Starboy. So I will be putting on my purple Starboy t-shirt and gabbing you about that then. But back to this one. It's fun. It's 8 pages. It's that kind of perfect story. I would not be surprised this is in back. I'd have to look, but if this was in one of the 100-page Superboy issues from the 70s, I love those 100-page issues. Maybe I'll do special episodes on those, one at a time. Yeah. Those would be fun ones to do. I grew up on those. Those are ones that I reread. I bought some in the last couple of years. Have them as comfort reading, especially like the Justice League one, because they're really important. It get a lot It had like 3 Grell normal page count ones and giant size super. I think I have all of them, and they're fun. They're worth digging out every once in a while. If you haven't seen them, I think they're on the app. The app has got a lot of fun stuff. I read. I'm reading these Legion, as I've said before, in the archives. I just got the second Before the Great Darkness Volume 2 Legion set. So I'm excitedly can say that I can read in hardback as a book nerd. My icon, my banner is me, my ugly mug in front of my Legion books. Is I like the hardbacks, and eventually I hope they, The Curse and the first couple volumes of the Baxter book, which Marty pointed out today on Twitter, that those are out, but I don't think the Curse pick backs up right next to. I'm gonna go check, but I want them to do more. That to come after the deluxe edition of the Great Darkness. The latest one was a lot of Roy Thomas, Jerry Conway, Steve Ditko, and some Jimmy Jans. It is really some. I remember reading it as it came out, and it was very nice, and I enjoyed it. But then the Levitz Giffen stuff the Levitz comes back, and then Broderick is his artist. It starts taking huge leaps and bounds. Again, listen to this Saturday's episode of Stop, Let Team Up, and listen to me and Marty talk a little about that. I think this is worth a read. I think if you're gonna do a deep dive into Legion, there's certain places where you can jump on. And the beginning is always a good one. It is the first 8 or 9 stories. I'd have to really kind of look to see what they are, but it's not more than 8 stories before it becomes a regular title and it starts to take on a team book format. But these are neat. They're very Silver Age. They're very warm and fuzzy and heartwarming they flash back to when people think America was a better place. I'm not saying it was a bad place. Every place is good and bad, but it is that idealized 1950s, early 60s, everything is perfect in the world, kind of thing. It's kind of like Jane Andy Griffith. I watch entertaining. It's a version of America that doesn't exist now, and I don't think really 100% existed then, is inspired to in some ways, and it's entertaining. It is, but it is of its time. So I do, again, like the George Papp art. I think he's fun, he's dynamic, it's great for a kid's book. This is what I would call a kid's comic. It's a gateway comic. It's okay. So, but next week we will go to, again, as I said, Lana Lang and the Legion of Superheroes. And I get to talk about the first appearance of Starboy, which will probably make me go off on a tangent about Starman and the Starman family and the amazing, wonderful Robinson Harris series from the 90s. To me, the magnum opus, super greatest comic book story ever. I am really thinking, even though it's not a team thing, is maybe at one point do a Starman My Adventure format little episode. And do that in chronology from the hardbacks. And let me know what you think. Would you like me to do some diving into specific characters? Starman is an ensemble book in more ways than one, and I would love to rediscover it with you, the audience. So let me know what you think of that. When you hear this, reply to me on Twitter at JSA4E. That is at JS the number 4E. That is the Stop Let's Team Up Twitter feed. That is pretty much my only social media right now. I'm thinking of doing an Instagram. I will not do fake. Pulled back my own personal social media for certain reasons, because I find Twitter, I've done all right with the algorithm of Twitter, and they're mostly very nice people who just, even if they don't agree to have the same taste as you in comics, they're wonderful, huge support from other podcasters. But it's the place I feel like I can control the conversation, and I can share what I see and share, you guys can share with me. So you can either DM me or you can post on the feed just to say hi. Love input, good or bad, as it's polite both ways, and he's polite on the. So hopefully you'll drop by and say hello. Also, you can find me on my other 2 podcasts, Gallifrey's Most Wanted, and Gallifrey's Most Wanted presents The Runcible Report, and I control those feeds and are tweeting at times. So basically I'm tweeting with 4 accounts. I get confused, but you can catch us there at Gallifrey's MW Pod or at Runcible Report, RUNCIBLE report, and you can hear us and our friends talk about what we like about Doctor Who stories and Doctor Who spin-off stuff. I have an episode coming out with the amazing Mark McManus from Trap One podcast talking about the first volume of the Titan Matt Smith 11th Doctor stories with the art by the amazing Simon Fraser. I'm going to shout him out, and the writing of Al Ewing, and Boo Jones is the other artist. But Simon Fraser, I have a Starman sketch of his hanging above my chair in my little office, and I've got some of his Doctor Who work on my wall. I find him amazing. He is the writer of the artist on Dante Inferno from 2000 AD. Check him out. But, folks, that's enough of me gushing and gabbing about other things. Do me a favor, be safe, be kind, and read some comics.